president believe that millions voted illegally in this election, and what evidence do you have of widespread voter fraud in this election, if that's the case?
The president does believe that. He has stated that before. I think he stated his concerns of voter fraud and people voting illegally during the campaign. And he continues to maintain that belief based on studies and evidence that people have presented to him.
But exactly what evidence? Speaker Ryan today said there's no evidence. The National Association of Secretaries of State say that they don't agree with the president's assessment. What evidence do you have?
As I said, I think the president has believed that for a while based on studies and information he has. John Roberts.
Our next guest first tweeted the claim that 3 million people voted illegally on November 11th. That's Gregg Phillips. He tweeted, completed analysis of database of 180 million voter registrations. Number of non-citizen votes exceeds 3 million. Consulting legal team. Now, 2 days later, he sent another tweet. We have verified more than 3 million votes cast by non-citizens. We are joining at Tru the Vote to initiate legal action. Hashtag unrigged. Those tweets went wild. They were disseminated by many right-wing sites. They became, apparently, a source for Donald Trump's voter fraud beliefs. Gregg Phillips joins us now. I appreciate you doing this. I know this has become increasingly uncomfortable, but it matters.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
What is the truth, to use the word? Do you know and can you prove right now that 3 million people voted illegally?
Yes. We began this effort years and years ago. We have developed a database of 189 million voting records. We've augmented that database with everything from geocoding to all sorts of identifying information. We've developed algorithms that allow us to first verify identity. We can verify residency. We can verify citizenship, felon status, and all of the other factors that go into making a legal registered voter. We will.
Do you have the proof?
Yes.
Will you provide it?
Yes.
Can I have it?
No.
Why?
The rest of the tweets, there was a whole series of tweets.
Right.
Those were taken slightly out of context. But one of the key tweets that we have stuck with all along is we're going to release all of this to the public. We're going to release our methodology. We're going to release the raw data. We're going to release our conclusions. We're going to release everything to the public.
When?
As soon as we get done with the checks.
Wait, hold on. So you're not done checking it yet?
The challenge is this. Let's just say that we're talking about verifying identity. Identity has a number of different components. Somebody might mistype a name, for example. Is Greg with 2 G's, Greg with 1 G?
Right.
That can be fixed with a type of algorithm called fuzzy logic, right? We can go in and fix that 2 G's really is 1 G, or we think. But there's an element of risk in that. Next, you have to go to a dissimilarity index. How likely is it that Gregg Allen Phillips is Gregg Phillips?
Right.
And that creates another, even though it can be resolved, it creates another element
I get
of
it.
risk.
It's very complicated.
So those pile themselves up. And even if you ended up with, say, a risk factor or a false negative or false positive proportion of, say, 1%, you're still looking at the possibility of 30,000 people being accused of felonies.
But why would I believe your conclusion if you won't show me your method and means and analysis?
Whether you believe it or not doesn't mean that it's not true. Whether you have the information or not doesn't mean that I don't have the information.
Right, but if
truth
you can't
is truth,
but if you
irrespective,
can't
right? There's 3 million people's own veracity on whether or not they're citizens in the balance here. We're not going to make a mistake.
But that's
we're going
on
to do
you.
this. We're doing it.
But you already accused them.
Look, I'm not a politician. I'm just a guy.
No,
we're volunteers,
but
man.
that's an excuse. That's a convenience. You put it out there. It's made its way to the president. He's now putting it forth as truth. You got to show what you know.
We will.
But when?
When the time's right.
What does that mean, when the time is right? The time is right now. That's why we're here. I didn't just bump into you in the hallway. You came here to talk about this. What I'm hearing from you is you think you'll be able to show it.
No. What you're hearing is that I know. You just don't believe that I know.
Well, why would I believe it if you don't show how you know it? Come on. I mean, this is a very silly circle that we're going in here right now. You say you can prove it. I say, okay.
Sure.
I trust you. You can prove it. Show me. You say, I will, but you're not. Can you give me an estimated date?
We believe that it will probably take another few months to get this done.